going on, people? Just want to do a quick video on the current market and the crypto sphere. Yeah, it's not playing out too well for most people. Um, Something I've been constantly mentioning since November, since we made that weekly since we formed that weekly bearish divergence on your MACD and RSI. And I really don't see anything. Well, I was going to title this video, where would you likely see a bounce? Starting with the weekly time frame, you can see this candle close, which is actually this red candle close is actually $31,776. That's your next weekly support, your next major support. And going to the daily, in your next major low candle close is, scroll a little bit more, is around 31,600. So I mean, the low candle close is 29,800. So you can really just make it, you can, create one of these support channel tools, a rectangle, make from that range, 28, 9, 31.6, 31.8 basically. And you can just scroll this. That's really your next support zone. And that's where you're headed to. I mean, if you break this zone, it's really going to get disgusting. And if you're a bull just in any risk on asset right now, the major, I've been constantly, telling people you need to, be watching for is right now these interest rates. They were up early. They were up yesterday during the open, but what I'm starting to see, which is actually positive and more likely that we're going to see a bounce soon, is on the daily time scale. Let me delete this sketch RSI real quick. I need the RSI. We do that. I've been mentioning that you want on a daily on these interest rates that you were starting to develop potentially some bearish divergence. You have RSI bearish divergence, but also you're starting to develop some MACD bearish divergence. So that is actually a positive thing. You want to see a bounce for the next few weeks, potentially, that you are getting some daily bearish divergence. Maybe a couple of weeks you get a rally in your risk on assets. Another thing that was kept mentioning to watch out for is the DXY, your dollar, and you're starting to get a rollback today as well. So, and you do have that daily MACD bearish divergence. So you're starting to get, some type of, at least we're in our phase of, we get some consolidation in these, in the dollar before we see higher prices. But is this something right now to really, if you're looking for a bounce, something you must be aware of? I mean, S&P today, just like, crypto took a dive to the downside, and, we're below the prior support. Probably you're getting in the zone where you're gonna start developing some consolidation. What you're hoping for is to start to develop some consolidation, but really looking at the other side, there's a lot more room to go down. I'm not as confident that you'll see that consolidation in the S&P. Did fill a gap today. I was looking on the 4-hour and noticed that we had this gap here around 40-20 was filled, kind of bouncing off that area a little bit, but I mean, there's not much support until 39.80. I think, did we get down? I got like 39.30, 39.90, I believe. I got the 4,000. Yeah, so we haven't hit those areas yet. Odds are if it is supported, we bounce off of it, or you break that, your next support is like around 39.50, 39.40 area. So I'm expecting to see that zone being tested, S&P before a bounce. So let me just make this here. Let's go this up. Let's go to something more. Try this over. And drag it over more. But yeah, that's, the zone I'm seeing potentially bounce off of a little bit, maybe run up again, make another lower high and roll over again. I mean, when you're in a bear market, until you start making higher highs, higher lows, keep, fading the rallies. Crypto is a lot more volatile, so you get a lot more, bigger moves. But that's the area I'm looking at right now for S&P potential reversal. But getting back to trying to stick on a crypto script, there was certain assets I was looking at that just looked, that they were going to start really moving to the downside. And I'm actually going to go to this chart. I was looking at XRP. We had this consolidation. I thought, we're still bullish. I was expecting it to break out. Unfortunately, we have broken to the downside, and I have a target of 13 cents. So not 13 cents, around 15 cents. Really down to, areas that you don't expect to go to, but this is a bear market. You have it liquid. Well, there is some liquidity with XRP, but you just, the macro is bearish. Everything just bearish, and it just, as of now, looks like, we breaking out of this consolidation bearishly, unless we, somehow we're miraculously have a pivot and get back into this pattern. Target is, around 15 cents. There was some divergence forming on XRP on the daily, on your MACD. Not most necessarily in RSI, but we're starting to build in more negative momentum. I play mostly to me, patterns tend to overrule divergence unless you get that pivot. And I mean, you've been consolidating in this pattern for over a year, and you breaking out bearishly consistently, making these lower highs, and you hit that demand line, and now 3 waves, and now you're headed lower. I mean, this is a daily time scale or weekly time scale. You'll see this pattern form, very reliable, enough time over over 365 days of distribution. You had a demand line, you're breaking it. You might come back and back test it if Bitcoin does rally, but that could be a short opportunity. But Bitcoin just keeps rolling over. I mean, like I said, the target is 15 cents. It's just not bullish. It is what it is at this point. I mean, another one coin I've been looking at for a while, but the opportunity to short is really, it's kind of gone at this point. Go to the daily. Let me delete these fibs. Before I delete these fibs, this target, next target, I mean, you already hit the 786 and you're still knifing through. I mean, 86 is the next target, is the 170 area. But I mean, I got it going even lower. Looking at the daily, let me hide this, not delete it. On your lower time frames. Okay, I'm gonna go to the daily. I know there's this channel that XTZ has been in since 2020, since the low. You constantly, got near, bounced off the, demand line of the channel. You hit the top, hit demand line, then hit the top, and that's technically when you're in these type of channels or in some type of pattern, and you fail to hit the top, you fail to hit that trend line, that is showing you weakness in the market. And ever since then, you've been, since October 2021, you've been in a downtrend. You broke out of it temporarily, false broke out. You're back in that downtrend, and you're down 76% since. Like I said, 170 is probably the next target before you get any type of bounce. And it kind of lines up with this support here around 180 area. But, there's a bigger move before you potentially bottom out with Trezos or XTZ all the way down to 73 cents, just because of the pattern. Like I said, these patterns are, you're in this channel for years, for 2+ years, constantly respecting the demand line and supply line, and you've broken out of it bearishly. I mean, it's that simple. People try to make TA as hard, like, oh, you got to know Elliott wave or harmonics, which I do use. Elliott waves to me are bullshit, but it's really just keeping it simple as understanding the trend, looking for support and resistance. In this case, your next major support is around that 180 area. The trend was bullish and now it's bearish. Your 180, well, if you break, this 211, 180 is your next really support. Is there a pattern? You could see we've been in this channel since February, well, really since confirming it since March of 2020 for 2 years. And was there any divergence? I mean, at the top, there wasn't on the daily, not on your MACD, but on your RSI, you can start to see that every new high, we consistently were making lower peaks on your RSI, especially on your last high. I mean, RSI was at, it didn't get over, oh, it was at 68. That's quadruple bearish divergence. On your RSI, you got 1, 2, 3, 4 peaks and 4 new highs. Well, actually, just 2 new highs. This was actually not a new high here. This is not a new high, or is it? Scroll in. Close 698. Close 716. So now you had just your traditional RSI bearish divergence. After, making a high, you can even say that. When it goes to a weekly, that's actually not bearish divergence on RSI. There must have been some weekly bearish divergence for that. There was with the RSI on your weekly. Not your MACD. So you had your, yeah. You had triple RSI bearish divergence on the weekly with this high. And then this, you really didn't have anything besides, it must have been on lower time frames, like your 4-hour. I mean, you did have and this is why I say patterns tend to me, roll patterns over divergence. When you break these patterns, like a rising wedge or just a channel itself, or a ascending adjacent broadening wedge, which is typically a bearish pattern at the top of or near the top of this channel. And you broke down, and now you're seeing results months later. But I was noticing this channel like around, actually back in 2021, and I just stopped looking at the chart because I don't trade Tezos. I just don't trade this asset. It's something I look at. But yeah, it's just an example of things you should be checking on. But 73 cents is probably your ultimate bottom. You're about to break, potentially could be breaking 209 today. So look for 180 as support. Trying to get through a few more assets before I go. I was looking at BNB. I think I mentioned this last video, I'm not sure. BNB was consolidating, again, consolidating over a year. Your target is 120. And let's go to the weekly, see if there's any support there. There's really no support there, and that's kind of concerning. I mean, if you start to break, the 215 area, there's not really major support until $30 really to $40. Wow. I mean, yeah, it's going to get ugly on these crypto streets. You can see today we're still selling off. Bitcoin right now is at, 31.9. Man, you really are starting to show that double top. I've been talking about this double top since November, before we got, before everybody was bearish. And, the target for that is what I've been telling people is Um, I mean, to me, this is this, measure move like 12K. And I'd be lining up with this support around, anywhere from, 11.6 really. Anywhere from like 11.3, 11.6, man. But, that's what I'm seeing for Bitcoin. Let me get back to these altcoins. Getting distracted. ADA been extremely bearish on ADA for a minute. It was really had this upsloping again, like a broadening wedge, more like a channel. You broke it. You're getting close to your measure move. I believe, it was a 60% drop. Actually, no. 46 cents to the target. And let me see. Let me see other coins. I can look really at all these charts. I'm just looking at main ones I've been looking at for a minute. Link, I got going to like $3. Yeah, like a descending triangle. Measure move. So 75% dump. Yeah, 344. You do have some major support around $5. So it won't shock me that we don't get to the measure move overall, but man, that's the measure move is 350. I really could just go down this list and then just be carnage after carnage after carnage. One thing I wanted to look at, I wanted to put this on record of EOS because it was one of the coins I was really bullish about this cycle. I thought, make a newer high around like $35, $40. You retrace to the 618. As you can see, I've been trying this for a minute. I thought, they would come up with some projects that would actually get some users. All I did was retrace, didn't make a newer high this cycle, which I'm going to stay here. If your coin did not make a new high this cycle, if you had a coin in 2017, it didn't make a new high, just retraced, odds are your coin is dead. And so EOS right now is at near critical support at 170. I'm expecting EOS to hit its ICO price. Back at, 50 cents. You could see, you look left. You can just see this. It's already broken this support around 213. These wicks are like, you break 150, it's over. You're going back down to at least 80 cents. Just looks terrible. Just distribution overall. Yeah, $4 billion down the drain on that project. Bitcoin's at 31.7 right now. Man, so we're right at support. I see we should get a bounce here, some type of reaction here. Just the fact that it is support. And I was on the other chart. Just had it on here. I thought I just posted. Oh, it was on. Sorry, I got so many charts. USD, Bitstamp, yeah. So you're just now hitting into support. Oh man. But yeah, man, it's gonna get ugly. I can go through a lot more. Before I go out, I just want to, troll the Tezos community a little bit more. I've been trolling them since USDT. Been trolling them since, what was it, mid-March or late March or something like that? I don't remember. But, it's just emotional buyers. And you have people that have, bought into the, really just the propaganda of what these projects say they're going to do. And maybe they'll do it. Maybe they'll accomplish what they are actually, setting out to do. But you're just so early in the game as far as that happening. A lot of these projects are just carbon copies of each other. And I'm actually not, as bearish as fundamentally on Telos. It's just something that, they have a lot to prove. Did this actually update? I think this, no, it didn't update. Cause from this chart, yeah, it doesn't have all this data. But I keep telling, this community that I'm expecting to see Telos around 17 cents. And they keep like, what are you talking about? It's, what, 17 cents, that's crazy. It's 17 cents is the target because the 86 fib. I mean, a lot of these people that are buying these assets don't know about Fibonacci. They don't know about patterns. They don't know about divergence. They don't know about TA. They just know that they bought into a coin and somebody told them it was going to the moon. And unfortunately, when you have, limited experience in these markets, you are the sucker and you are the exit liquidity. And I've been, updating, Telos actually on the BTC. Telos BTC has some bullish divergence on the daily. But it's not material into anything significant. You're right now confirming, well, not confirming, but you're making a lower high right now. And you get bullish divergence on the daily, in the bull market. I mean, that's when those are the great opportunities to buy and hold. But bullish divergence on a daily in a bear market, and you get this type of price action where you just, you made a newer low and you're making a lower high. And if you break this low and you confirm this was a lower high, I mean, this is just going to roll over extremely to the downside. Because what it's saying to the market is there's no demand and there's no buyers. And so you will start to look at, I'm just randomly put this here, but I would at least start to see, you could at least see a 40% drawdown in the BTC, Telos the BTC price, because that's the next like significant support zone, as you can see if you look left, really from like 1014 to 1119. So in that zone where you will see your next support with just the BTC price. And if Bitcoin is losing value, and this goes down 40%, you could be talking about, Telos losing 60%. And that will be, depending on where the price is when it starts to roll over. I mean, that could be your 17 cent, price prediction. Or maybe it's like 25 cents at that point. It all depends on what Bitcoin price is. But, the people that are like, constantly don't believe and, price is going to go to certain areas. It's like, you just seen the price within, from like October of 2020 to like April, May of 2021, Bitcoin went from, the like 10,000 range to 65K. And so if you can believe it can, continuously, assets can move in that manner in about 9 months, why the fuck can't this roll over? This has a way less liquidity than, BTC and any other alt. Like the people just, that are in these markets, I mean, they're delusional. They have no experience most of the time. And this is why they lose money. Like you're the sucker, you're the fool in this market. You got to understand that. And when people that have been in this market and have been trading these markets for, years are telling you, like, I can see, this asset going to, 17 cents. And I'm pointing out, technical reasons why, because, you break 50 cents, we're going to 17. That's just what it is. I mean, nothing's guaranteed, but just look at the markets. I mean, people are selling right now. This is not bullish. This is not a dip you should buy. This is not, we're going to all-time highs. There's fundamental and, technical damage that's going on right now. Well, more technical, but fundamentally, with the interest rates and the dollar, it's just not bullish. So, I just wanted to look at a few assets today and, pretty much tell people I told you so. And I'm going to keep telling you so because I got Bitcoin going to 12 to 14K area. Maybe Bitcoin hits it's 886. I mean, it's 11.2. Why not? There's support down there. On a weekly, that's the next major support area. Once you break 30, I mean, anything's in the cards, really. But, this is my thoughts. This is just, I continue analysis on these assets that right now are going to look like they're going to lose a lot more value. And, right now, alerts and stuff about Apple and Tesla and, these companies that have proven to make billions of dollars, that got billions of dollars on hand on cash flow, that are down, from their highs. Apple's only down like 17% maybe. But you're talking about, a company that makes billions of dollars, proven over decades to be a profitable company. It's like, I believe Apple gives a dividend. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. I'm not as aware of that info, but and then you go to these crypto market where it's literally just speculation. This is speculation. You just, people are buying the asset because they feel that it's going to go up more than what it is today. But, in the future, they think, Bitcoin is going to be at, 100K plus. There's no guarantee that's ever going to happen. And people keep talking about, we're in a, what was it, a bull cycle or a pseudo bull cycle, macro bull cycle. What if this is the top? What if this, these are the questions you start asking yourself and just stop listening to what people are saying. What if this is the top? People are always talking about that we never, test the prior high. What if this time is different? I mean, these assets haven't traded in a recession and higher interest rates. So what if this is it? What if this was the macro bull and you're sitting here still believing that we're going to be seeing higher prices? Maybe this is the ultimate top. I mean, anything is possible, but this is my thoughts for today. And really until next time, peace.